Come on, son.
Raphael on the track.
Come on, son. Come on, son. Come on, son. Come on, son. What up, y'all? This is Ed Lover. It's time for another Come On, Son, the podcast, man. Y'all always ask me about doing different things with my podcast, and I try to do different things with my podcast to try to open people's mind up and enlighten them just a little bit more about what's going on, and not only in hip-hop but in life, period. You know that? And our podcast, this whole podcast, of course, is sponsored by cigarsinternational.com. You go to cigarinternational.com right now. It's a little after Father's Day or whatever. You can get 10% off your entire purchase by putting in my code when you make a purchase at cigarinternational.com. That's ED, ED10, 10OFF. ED 10 off. 10% off your entire purchase, right? cigarinternational.com. Now, this is going to be a different Come On Son podcast than y'all used to me doing, because a lot of times y'all used to me doing classic hip-hop artists, and you know me for classic hip-hop, but hip-hop has changed and it's evolved and it's different. And you can't live in 1993 or 94 or 95 or 96, and we love to call it the golden era. It is one of the most creative eras of hip-hop altogether, but hip-hop changes and it evolves. It's just like when you were young and it was your music, your parents didn't understand your music, and sometimes you're not supposed to understand the music that comes after you. You're just supposed to embrace it and let it live, because we have a lot of great artists out there. We got a lot of great young producers out there that's doing a lot of work in hip-hop and bring the music that they love and the music that they love to the masses. And one of those people are joining us today right here on the Come On Son, the podcast. My man Zaytoven's in the building, Grammy Award-winning producer. What's up, brother?
Come on, son.
Come
What's
on,
up?
son.
Checking in. What's up, Ed?
I'm good, doing? Brother. How you doing?
I'm doing
What
wonderful.
did you win your Grammy for?
Usher, Papers.
Okay.
First time working with Usher. I did the first single. The song went #1 faster than all his other songs went #1. And, he got a Grammy for the album. I got a Grammy for being a part of the project.
Oh, that's great. How did that project come to pass for you? How did you end up working with Usher?
First of all, I'm like a trap producer. I
Right.
was known as more of an underground trap producer that worked with guys like Gucci Mane and OJ the Juice Man, almost kind of like the lower level guys of the rap, at the time. And at the time, I started getting on fire. Gucci Mane started getting on fire. OJ started getting on fire. Guys like Gorilla Zoe and Young Ralph and a lot of guys, guys that's from Atlanta. Like, I was doing all their music. Like, when they come out with a mixtape, it's Zaytoven doing all the beats on all the projects.
Okay.
So, you listen to Atlanta radio, you got the countdown. So you got the hot 7 at 7 or the top 8 at 8 or whatever. And then those songs, you hear, out of 7 songs, 6 of them would be like songs that Zaytoven produced.
Right.
So I think that really got the attention of Sean Garrett. Sean Garrett is a writer. He was writing for Chris Brown, Usher, and all the guys. And he reached out to me. But mind you, I'm still a producer that, at my mom's basement. Guys come to my house, we record. I didn't know who Sean Garrett was. And I didn't believe it's real that a big-time writer, somebody like Usher, will even want music from me. But I'm going to give you the tracks anyway. Oh, Usher want to do something, or you want to write my tracks? Here, take them,
Right.
So he came back and said, hey, man, we got a smash for Usher. He was telling me this for maybe 6 to 8 months.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But I'm like, yeah, okay, I ain't never talked to Usher. I ain't never seen him. You ain't introduced me. I ain't heard him sing the song and then, so, okay, whatever, man. Yeah.
Right.
Until it became like, hey, Zay, he sent me the song he wasn't supposed to send. He sent it to me like, I'm finna send you a piece of it so you see what's going on. Once I heard it, I'm like, oh, it's for real. You know what I mean? So it's one thing to feel like, okay, I'm gonna be a part of Usher album, because growing up I listened to Usher.
Mm-hmm.
The girls at high school, you say, oh, you look like Usher.
Yeah, you do look like Usher.
You know what I mean? So the working with him or doing a song with him was like, unreal. So after I heard the little piece, I'm like, all right, cool, I'm gonna be on this album. Then it comes to be like, no, this gonna be his first single. This gonna be the song that he come back with.
Oh wow.
So then it just, Now, I started smelling myself like, okay, man, I just did a song with Usher.
Right.
I remember MTV coming to my house, and they wanted to, talk to me about what I got going on new. I wasn't supposed to talk about the Usher song because it wasn't really all the way official yet.
Mm-hmm.
But I know people was tired of hearing me say, oh, I'm working with Gucci Man. I'm working with OJ the Juice Man. Like, we know that already. What else you doing?
Mm-hmm.
That's when I started saying, yeah, I got Usher new single, which I know I shouldn't have let it out the bag at the time, but that's all I had to say.
Right.
So I was just hoping and praying like, man, please let this be his first single, because I done told the whole world I did Usher new single.
Wow.
And it all happened. So.
Wow. And then you end up winning a Grammy Award. Let's take it back to the beginning. Let's take it back to Xavier Dotson. Not Zaytoven.
Mm-hmm.
When did you first get involved with music, and what inspired you to start playing music?
Well, I think Xavier Dotson is always is here more than Zaytoven. Like, Zaytoven is like, that's not even a guy I try to be. It's just somebody, something I done turned into.
Okay. Zaytoven is a take on Xavier and Beethoven.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like Xavier Dotson that's like who I am. The reason I got into music is, I'm a church going guy. I've been in church all my life. My dad's a preacher. My mom a choir director.
Wow.
So you're in church all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You got to find something to do. You're in church, 3-4 days out the week.
Right.
So you're going to start playing with instruments. As a young kid, I started playing with the drums. All the boys want to play the drums, so that means I got to wait in line, or I got to wait to play one song. Well, let me go play with the keyboard. Let me play the piano so I can, I can probably play that more. So that's what got me into music.
Okay.
So I've been doing music, and I still play at church, 3 times a week.
Oh, wow.
To this day.
Really?
Yeah, definitely.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So your father's a pastor. Your mom is head of the choir.
Mm-hmm.
So playing music is just a part of your fabric of who you are.
That's exactly who I
But
am.
how does a church going young man becomes the trap god?
I you know what? I don't even know. It's like I was almost. I remember when I wasn't allowed to listen to rap
to secular music at all.
Music, especially no music with no cussing in it. I remember, boy, I used to leave my radio on. My dad coming there and hear that, like, boy, what in the world? You lost your mind.
Right.
You know what I mean? But as when you start becoming a teenager, you start hearing that stuff. It's just almost you get infected with it. Like, man, this stuff sounds so good. I remember hearing Dr. Dre, the Chronic album.
Mm-hmm.
I got to sneak and listen to it, but it's almost, it's doing something to me, just the way it was put together, the music,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? So that's what kind of got me into liking that music. I was just a fan of that music.
Okay.
Never thinking I'd be a part of it or making no beats or none of that stuff.
Right.
But, but being a musician, as I got older, I started buying keyboards where you can make little beats in them,
Mm-hmm.
So you're doing that for fun. But now I might want to rap on this beat just for fun. I'm not trying to, make it in no music business. Oh, my little brother want to rap. Oh, my cousin want to rap. So now I'm making beats for us to rap on the karaoke machine at the house.
Oh, wow.
That turned into a hobby. Guys from the school, we coming over, we making songs.
Uh-huh.
Then that turned into somebody want to, buy a beat. He got like $50. He want to buy a beat from you for a beat from you. So that turned into like a little hustle. Like, okay. Man, I'm selling little beats here.
Right, right.
You know what I mean? So it started just gradually turning to Zaytoven. It's like, okay, now I'm making beats and selling them for money, a couple of $100.
Mm-hmm.
Then it get up to, somebody got $2,000, man. He wants you to make, That's where I got my name from. It was a guy named Forrest from the Bay Area. He just used to like how I make beats. And he came to me one time like, man, I got $2,000 for you. I just want you to come in the studio and make me some beats. And, as a young kid, like, you finna give me $2,000?
Right. But how were you getting out of the house to do this?
How am I getting out of the house?
Yeah, being a church boy.
By that time, I'm in high school.
Okay.
So, I can kind of move.
It's loosened up a little bit.
It's loosened up a little bit, and I can, I take the bus, I take the BART, and go everywhere I want to go.
Mm-hmm.
I leave from basketball practice, might go to the studio or this and that. I had a little bit more freedom then.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but it's all in fun. I'm still coming to show my parents that, I made some beats at the studio, listen to this. So it was something that they didn't know I was getting into the music I was getting into, but, they was proud of me doing, making beats and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're doing that. They start offering you $2,000.
Mm-hmm.
The money starts increasing.
Mm-hmm.
The more beats. Who was the first beat that you did that you heard on a mixtape?
Was an album. It really wasn't a mixtape back then. It was JT the Bigger Figure.
Okay, I remember
Yeah,
JT.
JT the Bigger Figure, and his album was called Something Kind of Crucial. And I did the title track for it. So I started working with him heavy. Like, he the one that put me in the studio.
Okay.
Say, this how you work this how you do this. Here go my studio. Here, you can just stay in here. And I'm finna leave. You can do whatever you want to do.
Wow.
So
JT, the Bigger Figure, is really kind of responsible for giving you that studio experience that you need, because before that, you just making small beats on
my little keyboard.
The more money you were making, were you increasing the kind of keyboards and drum machines that you were buying?
Definitely. Like anytime I get any money from playing at church, from making a beat, I used to help offload a truck. Any money I got, I'm going straight to the Guitar Center to lay away. Like, man, I want that drum machine. That costs $2,500, but let me go ahead and put this amount of money on it until I can pay it off. So,
right.
Yeah.
And the more you got, and who was teaching you on these machines? You self-taught.
Yeah, I was learning. Like, I learned if JT can show me something, if somebody else in the studio can show me something, and then whatever I learn on my own. Right.
So you're practicing all the time. You're in there. When did trap music start? Are you the person that started trap music, or I've heard T.I. say he started trap music?
I definitely didn't start trap music.
Okay.
Like, I didn't even know what trap.
It really didn't have a name, did it?
Yeah. Well, he did an album. I think it was called Trap Music or something back then. When people say that I started the type, trap music or something, or what me and Gucci did started the trap music, it's the type of trap music that me and Gucci has started to me.
Okay.
Like when you hear T.I. or if you heard Jeezy before, like they got real good quality music, street music, and it's called trap music.
Right.
And it sounds theatrical and big, and it's like, cause it was closer to hip hop, back then, because everything was well put together.
Right.
Now the trap music that I feel like I started, what me and Gucci started, is the dirty, unpolished, not mixed right. You don't understand what he's really saying. It's real edgy because it's like, because we don't have the money and the situations to put out our music like how they put their music out. We don't got the money. We ain't signed to Def Jam, or
Right.
So the music that we put out, the trap music we put out, it's gonna be like Zay mixed it in his mama basement. He recorded it. We recorded it in his mama basement, and we put it out on mixtapes. And however it sounds, that's just how it sounds.
Right.
So to me, and when you think about trap, to me it got to be dirty and edgy, and everything can't be all the way clean, because then
super producers on it. You got Manny Fresh on it.
That's too good now. You know what I mean?
That's amazing how that was trap music, and now it's too good. It's too clean.
It's too clean. You can't now. It's not trap music. That's good. That's just good quality rap music.
Right. Right. So how did the connection between you and Gucci Mane start?
When I came to Atlanta, I started getting into music real heavy.
Where you from originally?
Well, I'm from all over. I was born in Germany. My dad was in the military, so I'm an Army brat. So I've been moving all my life. So, but I really say I'm from the Bay because that's where I spent all my high school years. That's where I got all my game from. That's where I got,
What a wonderful place the Bay Area is, too.
The Bay Area.
I tell people all the time my favorite place in California is absolutely the Bay Area. The Bay Area, to me, is the closest thing to New York City that I can get. L.A. is too superficial. It's too, what are you doing, not how you doing. To me, the realest motherfuckers in California, in that Bay Area. I'm sorry. I just love the way they move. I love the way they handle itself. I like the way the appreciation for what you do is, just the overall vibe of the Bay. And I think it's probably because it get a little chilly out that motherfucker. So they get more of those seasonal type of things the way I'm used to. So I just love Bay Area people. So you spent most of your formidable years in the Bay.
Yeah, in the Bay.
So you moved down to Atlanta, and then how you get with Gucci?
I moved to Atlanta because my dad had retired and he moved to Atlanta. It's expensive to stay out in the Bay.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So, Pops retired. They moved down to Atlanta. Now, I done bought all the studio equipment that I done been laying away, spending all my money on. I can't afford to stay in the Bay. I can't afford to have my own spot in the Bay. But my parents, they got a house in Atlanta. They got a basement. So I shipped all my stuff down to my parents' house, and had my little studio in the basement.
Okay.
So that's how I met.
Are you still in high school, or you finished high
I
school?
just finished high school. Now, when I get down here, my mom and my dad like, hey, man, I don't know what you think this is. You ain't finna just start no studio. You need to go find a job. You got to do something.
Right.
But I always made my money by cutting hair. I used to cut all my friends' hair in high school. I play music at the church, so I might play at a funeral, a wedding, extra service, whatever it is. That's how I made my money.
Okay.
I never had like a real job. I wasn't working at Burger King or McDonald's. I was doing music
and cutting hair.
So
okay.
I was hustling. That's how
You charging for a cut back then? $10, $15?
Yeah, $10. Well, at high school, my buddy might got $7, $8, whatever. You know what I mean? That's how I got it. That's how I got my money.
So you get your money. Now you're at your parents' house. Your parents are like, you're not about to start no damn 24-hour studio in my basement.
My basement, yeah.
Right.
Especially Pops. He the military man.
Yeah, and the minister.
Man, he like, man, I come down here and throw I throw your keyboard on the ground. I don't know what you think this is.
So how'd you get around that, Zay?
Well, you know what? My mom always, kind of wanted me to excel and believed in me. Like, she the one made me like, okay, you got to go to barber school. You cut hair, I'm finna take you up to the barber school, the barber college. You got to get your license. You got to do something, And I did that. Like, I didn't have no problem with that. I went to go get my barber license. I started cutting in the barber shop after I got my license.
In Atlanta?
Yeah, in Atlanta, first class barber shop.
Okay.
I got more popular cutting hair than anything.
Okay.
Yeah. So that turned into, that's how I met Gucci. A friend of mine from the barber college, he came over. Like I said, I was doing music in the basement for fun. So my little buddy up the street rap, my little brother rap, the guy from the barber college, he rap. And then Gucci came with him one time. He was my buddy named Dre Malik. And he just came over with him, and he was like, damn, man, you be making them beats. Boy, I got my little nephew. You know what I mean? I want you to make a beat for him. I got a little, I'm writing a song for him. And it turned into, all right, that's cool. You going to give me a few dollars to do that, I'll do that. And his little nephew, his name was Lil Buddy. He wrote the song for him. But it was some connection that me and Gucci, every time he came over, and he'll be writing a song for the guy, and he was so in love with my music. And, when he'd go in there and rap the song for his little nephew to come back and rap it, I was just like, damn, man, this guy right here is special.
Right.
So it turned into, why don't you do a song? Why don't you do a few songs? And then he started recording. Then it comes to, Zay, you at the house, I'm going to come over, let's do some songs. That's every day now.
Oh, wow.
First thing, when you wake up in the morning, he called me 7 in the morning. Zay, you up? All right, cool, I'm brushing my teeth. I'm finna come over there. And we just doing music. That's how me and Gucci got,
right,
real tight.
So that was so Gucci's dedication to his craft is more serious than people give him credit for.
Oh, man, dead serious about his craft.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So every single day he calling you like,
every day. There's nobody that outwork Gucci, and it made me a workaholic because he want to record every day, and I want to make songs every day. He want to make songs every day.
Right. And that's the kind of people that you need around you.
That's
so when you first met Gucci, he was just writing for his cousin.
Yeah, but he was a street guy. He was like the boogeyman still around. Yeah, like, he was the guy.
Right.
Yeah. So
how did your parents feel about that?
Well, I kind of I had to kind of hide it in certain ways. You had to come through the back door sometimes. Certain people, see, the house would get to smelling like weed and,
Right.
They don't know. They just coming over. I'm going over here to record some music.
Right. They don't know nothing.
So I remember now working with Gucci, my first big song was So Icy.
Okay.
Now, when So Icy started making noise, like my mom kind of looked at it in a different way. I remember getting paid for the beat. Like Gucci did the deal with Big Cat, so I went over there to get paid, and it was $20,000. Now, I ain't never in my life seen $20,000. I know my dad used to pick cotton.
Wow.
Long time ago.
Right.
So to see for me to come home, I was nervous. I was scared. I got the money because I'm walking out their studio like, man, I got to
You
make
got
it
the
home.
money in cash?
Yeah, in cash. Yeah, that's cash money.
Oh, man.
$20,000. I ain't never seen I ain't never had $20,000 in cash or know somebody who had $20,000 in cash. So I'm nervous trying to make it home. Gucci like, man, can you drive me?
Are you taking the bus or you?
No, I drove.
Okay.
I was driving my dad's truck at the time. But And Gucci like, hey man, you drop me off somewhere. I like, boy, I ain't taking nobody nowhere. I gotta go straight to the house. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't. But,
Wow.
you know, so,
I got 20 grand.
I got 20 grand.
Right, and you the boogeyman in the hood.
Hey,
so I ain't dropping you nowhere. I ain't dropping you in no trap so I can get robbed. And plus, I don't really know you like that to trust you that you ain't gonna have your boys take my $20,000 and then give it back to you.
I was like, man, I'm going straight to the house.
Okay.
So, but when I got there, and then I'm sure that my parents looked at it in a different way. Like, dang, now wait a minute.
Right.
My son just brought home $20,000. We ain't never seen it before. We didn't know this music was gonna turn into that.
Mm-hmm.
So not
and you still in church 3 times a week.
Oh man, I'm the church musician, so I got to be there. I got to be at choir rehearsal. I got to be at Bible study. I got to be at
So now they trust that you're not in the street getting it because you're always home or you in church with them, so they know what you're doing.
They know what I'm doing.
Right.
And it took time for them to even realize what's going on because I didn't even know. This wasn't a dream of mine. This wasn't nothing I was trying to do. It's just I think God put me in a position of. I know you're a church musician. I know your character, and I feel like God trusts me to be around these people and to halfway be an example. That's why I had to start looking at it as maybe that's the reason why. Because I'm around the killer. I'm around the real guys, like the real robbers and people that's doing all the dirty, the real dirt.
Right.
So, but I'm comfortable around these guys. I'm comfortable around them, and they comfortable around me. Mm-hmm. And guys like Gucci, it used to blow my mind because the first thing Gucci would do, like when we'll go to the studio with somebody else, he'll brag on me. Now, Gucci is the robber. This the guy that, like, you can't even trust him.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, he like the real boogeyman guy, but as soon as we go to the studio with somebody, this is my producer Zaytoven. Hey, he don't drink, he don't cuss, he don't smoke, he don't do I'm like, bro, why you doing it? You ain't got to say all that.
Right.
But it was something that made him proud, and I understood. Matter of fact, it gave me more confidence to be, be who I am.
Right.
Because people respect that, and they want to brag on that.
Right.
Even though people is doing whatever else or however they raised or whatever they're doing, they might look at me and be like, I want to be like that, though.
Yeah, exactly. I know I'm this way, but there's a part of me that want to be
like that.
And Gucci has gone on
and you see
to develop to be like that.
You see that.
Yeah. Yeah. How were you kind of caught in the middle, or were you caught in the middle between Gucci and Jeezy? Because you did Icy, and Icy became a catalyst for their beef.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that like it was yesterday because it's my first time having a big song, but I couldn't really enjoy it because, what they had going on. Like I'm at the barbershop, they come like, Zay, I'm finna come pick you up. Like I want you to be with me. But then I got Jeezy like, hey man, we need this song for our album. And I'm like, well, hold on. But I did the song with Gucci. Gucci, my man. But I wanted to be on Jeezy's album because he's the hottest thing in the world right now. He finna have a platinum album come out. So I was just torn in between the two. I know I can't give Jeezy the song because, it's me and Gucci. We the one came up with the song. We rock with each other. He come to my house every day, and I know who Gucci Mane is, so I'm not finna play with his song. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
But it was just like I didn't enjoy it like I wanted to. It's like, man, I wish Jeezy could use it, and I wish Gucci could use it.
Right.
But they had an issue, and I understand, how it went down.
That's absolutely hilarious, man. That you were behind So Icy because the Gucci Mane and Jeezy beef was the catalyst for Come On Son, but in a different way. Okay. And it became because Drama was doing something for Jeezy, for his label. And he played some Gucci Mane records at that release party, and Jeezy got mad at Drama. So I created Come On Son because I needed a platform to speak about stuff I wanted to speak about, and that was the catalyst. What? Drama was the first person that really got Come On Son really bad for me. Like, how you going to play Gucci Mane at Jeezy party and you know they got beef? Yeah. And it's funny that things come 360. Now here I am doing my Come On Son podcast out of Drama's studio. And you're the guy that created the song. Like, that was the first really big song that Gucci Mane had. It's the really first big song that we've all heard about Gucci Mane from. How were y'all able to move your music from just your basement? What was that like? Because I think a lot of young aspiring artists might listen to this podcast and they want to know, okay, I know I'm good, but how do I get heard?
Well, Back then, it was totally different. Like nowadays, there's so many different platforms and social media to get heard that I think it almost waters everything down because it's so much. It's like it's too much to take in. Everybody I know in the world is a rapper, producer, or something.
Right.
I mean, the guy that's the janitor.
It is too much to take in. It's like, how do you find it? Like, thank God for my executive producer, Krista Hazen. She puts me onto music all the time. And I'm like, who the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Like, where did he come from? Like, I never heard of this. Isn't it like to a point now where it does kind of even it out? Because there's so much out there. If you pop, people are fucking with you.
Exactly. Yeah.
And if you don't, then maybe you need to start thinking about whatever.
Something else.
Right, doing something else to do.
Yeah.
Because it's almost like that. There's so much. It's so flooded, and there's so much. Every time you turn around, somebody's like, "Yo, Ed, I got this artist. He da 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 da. I know this dude, and he da 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 da. And I got this, and I'm like, God damn, I can't keep up with this. And then somebody pops just like that, and you're like, where did they come from? Like 21 Savage, Kodak Black, the kid that just got punched in the face. What's his name?
Yeah.
I can never say his name. XX.
Tentacion.
Him. XXX Tentacion. Like, I can't even say the kid name.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, he's got a following. And I'm like, where did this kid come from? It's not like back in my days when somebody rocked in the park and then you got in the ciphers and then you was like, yo, son is nice. Yeah. Like, they running around with this kid named, Jay-Z, and he's up in Mount Vernon battling this kid named DMX, and then he's battling LL Cool J, and then they trying to put their money together. You kind of hear about them. It's like dudes are just popping out of nowhere. How do you keep up with all of that shit?
Man, I have to keep young guys around me, and I always got to go and rock with these young guys. Soon as I hear that somebody is halfway making some noise, I'm pulling up on them. Like,
okay.
I did that with Uzi. Like, this is where I first started. I recorded with Lil Uzi.
Okay.
But my son is 11 years old, and he like Lil Uzi. I'm like, where do you hear that at? Like, who is how you like who is that?
Do you realize that being the father of an 11-year-old, do you realize that someday your shit gonna be old school?
Oh, I know it. I almost feel like that now.
Okay.
I almost feel like that. Like, I can tell by what they listen to, like what my son listened to, and he's like, yeah, you need to work with him or him. Like, I don't know nothing about it, what I mean? But when he say that, I definitely take heed to it, because when he said that, I seen Lil Uzi in the mall in Lenox, and I bumped into it, and I turned around like, hold on, that's the little dude my son was talking about. Hey, let's take a picture. Oh, you finna go to the studio? I'm finna pull up on you.
Okay.
And that turned into, you gotta think, we had Too Much Sauce was like one of the biggest songs that came out.
Yes.
Last
huge.
year.
Yeah,
so,
big
but
record.
it come from, I'm taking heed to, that's what the youngster like. Oh, that's what, they talking about you. I want to work with you.
Right. And this is the message that I tried to get across to my listeners, that you have to open your mind up. Hip hop, the skill level is not the same. They're not going to rap in 37 million metaphors the way we love it. The way we like, oh shit, Biggie just said we hit makers with acres, road shakers and Vegas. Yeah. We're never going to get that again.
No.
It's a different brand of hip hop, but it's still hip hop. It's their expression. You can't expect somebody that's 19 to express themselves the same way you did when you was 19, because it's a different time. How was your relationship with Gucci when he started falling on hard times and going to jail and all of that stuff?
Me and Gucci relationship always stayed the same.
Mm-hmm.
Like, me and Gucci is like best friends when it comes to music. Like, we might not even talk about, other real situations or, real life experience or nothing like that. But when it comes to music, it's like we best buddies. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's a marriage to our music. And it's all we know is when I get in the studio with him or when it's something about some music, then we know it's going to be, A1 every time. So when Gucci goes to jail, you got to think I've been rocking with Gucci from the beginning. He done been to jail. I don't even know how many times. A lot of times. But I always record with Gucci. Gucci always come to the house and record. So I know if Gucci go down for 6 months or this and that, I'm gonna release some music to make sure the fire's still burning. Like, hey man, Gucci still the truth. You know what I mean?
And he's gotten better.
Man,
that's the most amazing thing to me about Gucci, because I was for me, the jury was out on Gucci. I was like, I like that So Icy record. Oh, I like that one, but do I want to hear a whole album of this dude? Mixtape is out. I don't think I'm listening to that. But he has really gotten a lot better. Like, he's actually worked on this shit.
Oh, he can rap.
And he's got a style. You know what I mean? I think a lot of people can rap, but do you have a vocal presence?
That's what I was saying. Like, what made me fall in love with Gucci is back when everybody else was saying, oh, he really ain't that good. I don't think he really that good. What he brought to the table for me was just so special.
Right.
Like, it was just, it might sound ABC or it might not sound so intelligent, but if you really listen to it, it's like, that's brilliant.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Dude got a style about him.
Like, you can rap real good, but you can't do what this guy do.
Yeah, absolutely not. It's just something that it's absolutely something special about him.
Yeah.
There's absolutely, coming from where he comes from, knowing where he know, it's believable.
Yeah.
Number one, which is pretty much a lot of the reasons why years ago we all born in the 50 Cent. It was so believable. Right.
Yeah.
And when you have that pedigree to come behind what you're talking about, it makes it a lot better than some kid that you find out, went to, some middle school or prep school or something, and you talking trap. To me, you can't talk trap unless you live trap.
Exactly.
And Gucci absolutely lived trap, and he's been through it, thick and thin, up and down, sideways, coming up with his own brrs and all kind of shit. That makes somebody special when you can get something that people latch on to.
You can look at Gucci and tell. You can look at him and say, "Hey, that's whatever he rapping about.
Right,
that's him. He, that's for real.
He did it.
And if you've been around him, you will really feel like, hey, man, like I done been in places where anytime Gucci Man walk in the room, he controls the whole room.
Right.
Everybody is quiet now. They looking at like, oh, that's him. He got that certain presence.
Yeah.
So, and it makes the rap and the music sound that much better.
Right. Where you've had so many big hit records, man. Mm-hmm. Where are you now as far as musically? Where are you musically right now?
I'm out, man. What's so crazy is the music, especially how it's changing and all the new guys is coming in. It keeps me chasing another hit.
Okay.
That's what's so exciting about this music. Like, I don't never want to live off all the songs I done in the back in the day, or I did this song and this and that. Like, if the song hasn't been, popping in the last six months, then I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's just how I am.
Okay.
Because I'm competitive, and I hear what the young guys are doing. I hear what the new artists and producers doing, and I want to compete. I'm competitive, so I don't want to let nobody just outdo me like that. Even though I've been doing it since 2004. Right. But I still got that, excitement and desire to have the new hottest song or the newest hottest, music that's out. Like, I want people to be like, man, Zay, dang, boy, Zay did it.
Yeah, you want to put them on notice.
Yeah, I want to. That's what
make
I
them
do.
Competitive. Like, damn, you heard that new Zay joint? Yeah. I gotta get back in the lab.
I gotta get back in the lab.
Yeah, because I got to do it. How has the internet and the way young producers are selling beats changed the way you make your money? Or has it?
It hasn't really changed anyway. Making my money. It's like I think people still look at me as the key in Atlanta. Anybody that come to Atlanta, any new artist that's coming up, especially if they doing street music, they feel like Zaytoven is the key. And when I say that, I think they look at me as I'm still, accessible. You can still get in touch with Zaytoven. You can see him walking in the mall.
Right.
You can catch him. And then you can say, like, dang, Zay, I want to get a beat from you. How much you'll charge me to make a beat? It's hard to get that from all the big hot producers.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like I feel like I'm that guy, that medium where it's like, well, I can get the Zaytoven.
Right.
You know what I mean? And if I work with Zaytoven, all the other producers gonna pay attention, then they're gonna rock with me.
Okay.
So that's how it's really been.
Yeah. So it hasn't affected you. These lease this beat for $50, lease this for $100. Would you rather give somebody a beat or craft a beat for a certain person? Because you worked with Gucci, y'all sat in the studio together and you crafted music for him. What's easier for you and better for you?
It depends on who I'm working with. When I'm working with a guy like Gucci, it's always from scratch.
Okay.
It's never, hey, man, give me some beats and I'm going to rap on them. You know what I mean? And I can have the hardest beats in the world, but it's just like he want to see me make it. He want to be right there, while I'm making it, he coming up with the song, and then we ready to record it.
Right.
And I like working like that with him.
You like to craft it for
people. I like to craft it. But then certain people say if I work with Future, if you go back and say listen to Beast Mode, those songs I crafted at the house by myself.
Oh wow.
You know what I mean? Because I know how Future is very melodic and he gonna go different ways. So I want to put a different thing to the music. That's why you hear a whole lot of instrumentation, a whole lot of pianos and stuff when I work with a guy like that. It's because I can't put everything I want to do right there while he, watching. Because, I still make the beats in like 10 minutes.
Okay.
But, I want to, like for him, he want to say, give me the beat. Whatever beat you give me, I'm finna go right in the mic booth and record it.
Okay.
So, it's
right.
different. It's different for
It's different for each one. Who haven't you worked with that you want to work with?
I think I done worked with pretty much.
You work with Drake?
Yeah, I've got a couple of songs with Drake.
Okay, Nicki Minaj?
Yeah, Nicki was coming to my mom's basement, just like how Gucci and everybody else.
Okay, well, way back then, early Nicki.
Well, I was on her last album too.
Okay.
On Pink Print. Yeah. But yeah, I was there with Nicki way, way, way back in the beginning.
Is she the kind of person that you like to craft for? Or is she the kind of person that would rather just take beats and figure it out?
Well, girls are definitely different in the studio. So
how so?
Because girls want everything to be perfect. They want to take their time. They want to make sure everything is all the way right. So I remember recording with Nicki like, dang, man, that was straight already. Like, it sounded good already.
Right.
No, you just saying that. Let's do it over. And it's like, But those girls, you have to sit and craft for them because they so picky.
Okay.
Yeah. So
when dudes is just a little bit different.
You gotta think I'm coming from Gucci Man, where we don't care if we don't care if the beat was off. We don't care if you just said a word that don't make no sense. We don't care. That's it.
Right.
Now let's go to the next song.
Right. Get that shit out of here. Moving on. And then you sit there taking 9 hours with somebody like gee.
Yeah, on one word, like she just want to change that one little word. I ain't say that right.
And
I'm like,
You like, really? Who give a fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I see, she became a superstar how she is, and I think, sometimes it worked different for different people.
Yeah, absolutely. How was you working with Waka Flocka?
Waka was just, man, to see him to see everybody that I seen blow up is just amazing to me. Because Waka was just a guy. He was skinny. And I remember the first time we was in the studio, we was at Patchwork. And he was like, man, Zay, you and Gucci all I listen to. And he was just a fan. He just, he don't care about rapping.
Right.
He just wanted to, just to be in the studio, so be around. And then it turned into, I remember when he had the song All Let's Do It, I'm like, man, Walking and blew up. So,
Yeah,
amazing.
He's like, it was amazing. I remember interviewing him. And I was asking him, when's your album coming out? And he was like, I ain't putting no album out yet. He was like, I'm just riding this because I don't know, I don't proclaim to be the best rapper. He's like, I don't even know how this shit happened.
That's what make it great.
Yeah, he said, I just, I'm riding this wave while I got a wave. I don't want to put nothing out and it flop and it be miserable and it be terrible. I just really want to keep on doing what I'm doing right now. Who's your favorite youngin, up and coming?
Right now?
Yeah.
Man, I like all the different guys because they all got different flavors. Like Uzi is definitely one I rock with a whole lot. I like Kodak Black a whole lot. Like 21 Savage. I like Yachty. I like all these guys, man. They bring so much different flavor. That I like all of them.
When you get in the studio with them and you making music for them, how do you differentiate what's good for Yachty as compared to what's good for Uzi or what's good for 21 or what's good for, Future? How do you differentiate that?
Well, guys like 21, I know the type of music he on.
Oh, well, what is he on?
It's street music. It's like he was a real Gucci fan. Like, his first mixtape was Free Gucci. Like, I think it was called Free Gucci or
okay.
like that. So I know the type of music he on. I know the type of music he want. Like Uzi and them, I didn't really know because I didn't know their music. So it took me to go home and go back and listen to like, well, dang, let me listen to what they, like, how did he, like how you say, like, where did he blow up or what got people so interested in him? And when I listen to his old music, it's like, man, dude, the truth.
Right.
Like, you don't be knowing until you really dig deep and go back and be like, why do people like him so much? Like, I don't understand. But then when I listen to the music, I'm like, oh, okay, I see. So that helps me better understand the type of music he like, what type of vibe he on. So when I come and bring him beats, you know, I'm gonna hit him right where he need to be hit.
Right. How
Yeah.
come you've never succumbed to what's around you? You don't drink, you don't smoke, you know, you got 11-year-old. I see your wedding ring on your hand.
Yeah.
You still go to church 3 times a week and still do what. How come Zaytoven has never bent to all of that sin, for lack of a better word, that's going on around you?
Cause it's, you know, it's not my character, and you know, it's how I was raised, and like you just said, I'm in church 3 times a week. So if you're in church 3 times a week, that means you listening to a preacher and a pastor. Now, what a pastor's supposed to do is to speak, you know, preach to you and speak in your life for you to not do certain things, or for you to live a certain lifestyle. Now, if this keep getting beat in my head every week all the time, it's hard for me to go do something else, because it's like a conviction. Like, well, I know I ain't supposed to go do that.
Right.
Because that's all I hear. That's all I see. I see my mom and my dad. I see how they live a certain lifestyle. I'm in church all the time. I know what I'm supposed to do. I know.
But
what I'm
sometimes,
supposed to do.
Zaytoven, that has an adverse reaction on certain
No, it
people.
does.
Like, they'll be
It
like,
does.
this church, I'm churched out. I'm going to do this.
Yeah, and that happens to probably the people that been in church the most.
Right. Yeah.
But you know, I feel like it's just a special, you know, covering that God has gave me to help shield me from certain things. I ain't saying I've been perfect or done everything right. You know, I done a whole lot of things, and I realized that I'm in this position for a reason. You know, like Zaytoven being a trap god or trap music or rap music.
Right, a church boy.
Yeah, the church boy.
Right.
It's a reason for that. It's not, you know, I don't think God just put me in this, you know, let me be successful in this music just to make a whole lot of money. It's to be a certain way, for somebody else to look and be like, dang, I want to be like him. Or, you know, I want to listen to how he said, or what's changed. I done had to talk to so many people, because parents or people like, man, you talk to my son now he's smoking weed and he want to be in his music, but you know, I was showing him because you don't do all none of that, you know, and I'm trying to show
you're still
him,
successful.
Yeah, and I'm still successful.
Right.
People, like, you don't have to be that way to be successful.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You don't have to put on what you think is the rap uniform.
Yeah, and I don't never talk down on anybody that's doing whatever they doing, you know, because most people I'm around, they do all, you know, they smoke a lot of weed. They do whatever. They do all that. But, you know, they came up a different way. Their examples was different. It's, you know, it's different for them.
Right.
You know? So all I can do is be a strong, a firm Zaytoven. You know? And either I'm going to influence you or you going to influence me. And I'm the type of guy that I'm not going to get influenced.
Right.
So you be around Zaytoven long enough, you going to look at it at like, well, damn, I might want to change this. I'm like, you know what I mean?
Right.
And
because I'm not going to bend.
I'm not going to bend. And I feel like I have a responsibility, and I always have my mom, my dad, or a preacher that always encouraged me, like, Zay, keep doing, you know, keep being that same way. Because people get it, you know. Certain people will get it, and it'll rub off on certain people.
And you're an example to your son.
Now that's a whole nother thing. Now I got kids. I got a son and a daughter.
Right.
You know, I got little brothers too. So first, that was one of the reasons why I tried to be, you know, a certain example. But now I got my son that, you know, he brags on me. He popular at school because his daddy's Zaytoven.
Right.
You know what I mean? So he got, you know, I got to be a real example for him.
Yeah. Who do you want to work with that you haven't? Have you worked with Jay-Z? Have you worked with Kanye? Have you?
I was just at Jay-Z house maybe 2-3 months ago. I put up a picture with me and Jay-Z, and everybody went crazy, like, ooh.
Yeah.
Because it blew my mind that he was looking for me. I didn't think Jay-Z even cared about my music at all. But I was in a meeting with Big John. Big John said, oh, me and Jay was talking about you.
Right.
I was like, what? For real?
So
he hit him. Jay hit right back like, hey, man, tell Zaytoven to come to the house.
Right.
I'm like, what? So, yeah, man. So that right there was a whole nother confidence booster for me.
Right.
If not one song ever came out that me and Jay-Z did, that just me meeting him and, you know, being with him and talking with him, the time that we had was enough to.
So have you guys spoke about collaborating on music, or was it just like a cool type of, hey, I just want to meet kid?
No. It was music. It was about music.
Oh, okay.
It was strictly about music.
Right.
Yeah, so he was like, man, I want them pianos and them strings,
Yeah, I know
So
what
that's
Jay
what I went
like.
over there for.
Right.
That's the only,
Yeah.
So
He likes that melodic stuff that's gonna last forever and ever. Yeah. Yeah, he's doing. What about Kanye? Y'all ever talk about collaborating?
I never did. I would love to work with Kanye.
Uh-huh.
I always been.
Do y'all know each other?
No, I don't know.
Oh wow, that's unusual.
Well,
Kanye usually keep his ear down to the street to see who's doing what.
Yeah. I always still feel like I'm still much as I done, I still feel like a underground or underdog type of guy, and I don't feel like people gonna reach out, or people they might like my music, but it's not enough for them to like. I want to work with Zaytoven, and I understand that, and that's cool. That what makes me go hard as I do, and make sure I stay in tune with the younger guys,
right?
Because I feel like that's why it was such a mind blower when Jay-Z wanted to rap with me. I was like, dang, for real?
Right.
I can't believe that, because I don't feel like they would, like my or respect my music that much. Mm-hmm. But it gave that with him calling me, then it's like, who else bigger than that?
Right.
So
where can you go from there?
Where you go from there?
Yeah, because that could lead for you working with Beyonce and everybody else. Mm-hmm. Would you like to one day take a step back from trap and hip hop and just go straight gospel?
Yeah, I would love to. That's like in the making. I work with a few gospel artists now. They gospel rap artists. I just linked up with Lecrae.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I'm working my move.
Right. What do you think about, they call it, what do they call it, gospel trap, or what do they call it? I've heard it before. I've seen a guy doing it. It was trap gospel.
I ain't even heard that yet. Sometimes they, people can go overboard with it. It's not authentic. Like, I like authentic music, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. Now, when I listen to gospel music, it's really like gospel music. It's,
the Tamala Mans and authentic.
So, authentic gospel music.
Gospel
That's what
music.
I like to hear. So.
Right. You don't want to hear somebody trying to do gospel.
Trying to be trap, it's like
over or trap beat. Yeah. What's the future for you, bro? What is it you want to do?
I'm really doing everything I want to do, man. It's been a real blessing for me to, I'm more of a family man more than anything. So to see my family real happy, for me to be able to do things for my for my family, it's like, it's more than a dream come true. So everything else is just gravy on top.
Right.
So, like, what people ask me what I see myself doing in 5 to 10 years, I don't know. That's what keeps me excited about all this stuff. I'm going to continue to do music. I'm going to continue to do movies. I'm going to continue to do books. I'm going to continue to do, like, producer camp classes and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But in doing that, something I never thought of come out and happens. Like, I didn't even think about doing that. But, I think, and that's, God does that. He'll bring things that, that you weren't even thinking about.
Yeah.
And it'll give you excitement to live and do more all over again. So.
Well, man, it was a pleasure having you on the podcast.
I sure appreciate it, my
brother. Zaytoven in the house, man. Yeah. Y'all make sure that y'all show love to this young man, brother, because he is absolutely doing it and doing it the right way. It's Come On, Son, the podcast. I'm Ed Lover. That's Zaytoven. Thank you, brother.
Yes, sir. Come on, son.
We out. Come on, son. This Ed Lover podcast is being done in conjunction with Cigars International. Make sure you check out cigarsinternational.com for all your cigar needs.
This episode of Come On, Son, the podcast is produced and engineered by co-executive producers Kimana Paulus and Krista Hayes. Recorded at Mean Street Studios in downtown Atlanta, Georgia. This is an official Loudspeakers Network podcast. Network podcast. Network podcast. Network podcast. Network podcast. Network podcast.